Decorative lights and illuminants lit up the extravagant Wilson family mansion. Tonight was the 70th birthday banquet of Lady Wilson, the head of the Wilson family. Her grandchildren and their spouses gathered around her to hand her their luxurious gifts.
Grandma, I heard that you love the Chinese tea. I looked high and low for this century-old poor tea worth $500,000 to present it to you.
Grandma, you are a devoted Buddhist. This Buddha statue is carved from the authentic Hitian jade. It is worth $700,000.
Looking at the nicely wrapped gifts in front of her, Lady Wilson laughed heartily. The entire ambiance was harmonious and happy. Suddenly, Charlie Wade, Lady Wilson's eldest grandson-in-law, spoke.
Grandma, could you lend me $1 million, please? Mrs. Lewis from the welfare home is diagnosed with uremia, and I need the money for her treatment.
The entire Wilson family gaped in extreme shock. Everyone stared at Charlie with bewilderment and surprise. This live-in grandson-in-law was overly atrocious and bold. Not only did he not prepare a gift for Lady Wilson on her birthday, but he actually had the audacity to ask her for $1 million. 3 years ago, Lord Wilson, who was still alive and well, had come home with Charlie one day and insisted on marrying him to their granddaughter, Claire Wilson. Back then, Charlie was as poor and miserable as a beggar. Lord Wilson had passed away after they got married. Ever since then, everyone in the Wilson family tried to kick him out of the family. However, Charlie was always indifferent and nonchalant like a statue despite the insults and ridicule, and he spent his days in the Wilson family quietly as a live-in son-in-law. He was at his wits' end that he had to borrow money from Lady Wilson today. Mrs. Lewis, who had taken him in and saved his life, had uremia. She needed at least $1 million for dialysis and a kidney transplant. He had no other ideas except for asking for Lady Wilson's help. He felt that since it was her birthday today, she might be delighted to have some mercy and provide her assistance. However, Lady Wilson was still laughing gleefully when abruptly her lips curled downwards and eyes furrowed indignantly. She hurled the teacup in her hand to the floor and growled,
"Bastard, are you here to celebrate my birthday or borrow money?"
Claire hurried forward and said,
Grandma, Charlie is not thinking straight. Please forgive him.
She then pulled her husband aside frantically. At this moment, Wendy, Claire's cousin, sneered in disdain.
Claire, look at the piece of trash you're married to. Gerald is only my fiancé, and we haven't even gotten married yet, but he gifted Grandma the Jade Buddha. Look at your good-for-nothing husband. Not only did he come empty-handed, but he also has the nerve to ask Grandma for money.
You're right. Charlie, we're both the grandsons-in-law of the Wilson family, but you're such a disgrace.
The man who was talking was Gerald White, Wendy's fiancé, who was also the son of a wealthy family in town. Although Gerald was about to marry Wendy, in his eyes, Claire was so much more beautiful and elegant than his fiancée. Claire Wilson was the famous goddess of beauty in Orris Hill, but Gerald was very frustrated and irritated when such a beauty got married to a loser.
It's best for this useless loser to get out of the Wilson family now.
Yes, he is such a disgrace to our family.
Perhaps his intention is not to borrow money, but to spoil the joyful ambiance of Grandma's birthday instead.
Charlie clenched his fists tightly as the entire Wilson family was humiliating and ridiculing him. If it wasn't for the sake of the urgency, he would have left this annoying place. However, his father's words echoed in his head. He had taught him to be grateful for the help he received and to return the favor tenfold. Hence, he suppressed the fury and humiliation slowly building within him and said to Lady Wilson,
Grandma, whoever saves one life saves the world entirely. Please, I beg for your mercy.
Someone in the room snorted loudly.
Mr. Wade, stop force-feeding chicken soup to Grandma. If you want to rescue someone, you can find a way on your own. Who do you think you are to ask for money from Grandma?
It was Wendy's brother, Harold Wilson. The sinister brother and sister had always been prejudiced against Claire, who was superior to them in every aspect. Hence, they would always attack Charlie at any chance they could seize. Claire, who was wearing a slightly awkward expression on her face, started,
Grandma, Charlie's father died when he was 8. It was Mrs. Lewis at the welfare home who had brought him up. He is utterly grateful of her graciousness, and that is why he wants to return the favor so badly. Could you please help him?
Lady Wilson growled with an indignant face.
You want me to help him? Okay, divorce him now and marry Mr. Jones. If you do as I say, I'll give him $1 million right away.
The Mr. Jones that Lady Wilson was referring to was Wendell Jones, a man who was always pursuing Claire despite her married status. The Jones family was one of the prominent families in the upper social circle in Orowis Hill, which was much more powerful than the Wilson family. Lady Wilson had always wanted to get on their good side. At this moment, the butler sprinted in and said,
Mr. Jones sent a birthday gift to Lady Wilson. It is a Buddha talisman carved from the jadeite stone worth $3 million.
Lady Wilson broke into a large smile and quickly blurted,
Bring it to me, let me see.
The butler immediately presented the emerald green Buddha talisman, which sent waves of exclamation across the living hall. The emerald talisman was crystal clear with its vibrant and sharp colors, without any trace of impurities. It was of the finest jade quality. Like and comment for the next part.